I just be smoking an OG. I just be smoking an OG. These niggas don't really know me. I just be smoking an OG. I'm at the growing house, I got like 20 P's. These niggas don't really know me. Yeah. Designer weed, I just be smoking on OG. These niggas don't really know me. I'm at the grow house, I got like 20 P's. I just be trying to stay low key.
Okay.
Be trying to stay low
Yes.
key. I'm at the grow house.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing really good. I just have to say that you have a really bright smile. Like you have beautiful teeth.
Oh, thank you. They're fake, but thank you.
No,
I mean, they used to be this pretty naturally, but you know,
they look
cycles
good.
of the life. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Like, ooh, she got me out here looking like I got yellow teeth.
Oh, you stupid. Look, but when, actually, so when I was younger, like all through my adult life, people would stop me and tell me how pretty my smile was. Like that was always one of my greatest attributes. So thank you.
I love it. Well, that has not changed because as soon as you came on, I'm like, wow. I love that. So welcome to Women in Cannabis.
Yes.
I'm really excited to talk to you. So after, like we were talking about when I scheduled you for this, after Ms. held that Green Believers Women in Cannabis 420 event, we were just talking and I was like, man, Ms. Branch, like it's so many women doing like so many amazing things in the cannabis industry, which I find to be really unique because I mean, I think women, we do amazing things in general, but the fact that one, the cannabis industry is very new in its legalization. And so there's still so many policies, so much just like censoring in the industry, so much blocking in the industry.
Chauvinism. Let's talk about the chauvinism in the industry.
Exactly. And I think that for enter the industry and be able to accomplish the things that you guys on that panel have accomplished, I was like, that's amazing. And I think that it's necessary for the personal story of these individuals to be highlighted because that takes special characteristics to be able to deal with a newly emerging industry such as the cannabis
industry. Right. And let's see. I'll call you later. Hold on, sorry. That was an interruption. All right. Yeah, so let me try. What was I doing? Sorry. I get one. I mean, I'm not a multitasker. So I'm trying to get this. All right.
No, I understand.
Like that. My phone was
What you're trying to
tripping. Okay. Don't allow. All right. Let's go. I'm ready.
There we go.
Okay. Okay. Now let me do this real quick. Settings. What is this called? No, I want to do. Where's mine? I don't see my thing. Okay, I quit. Never mind. Let's just stick with this. Okay, thank you for your patience, honey.
No, I'm here.
Okay, I'm ready. All right, so come on. Let's do the interview.
So I want to ask you, so I know that you own Justice Tree, right? So just to get that aspect of it, just so that people kind of understand what it is that you do, I would like to start off by first asking you to tell us what exactly is Justice Tree and what does Justice Tree do for the community?
Okay, sure, no problem. So Justice Tree is the only brand of cannabis that bridges the gap between social justice and social equity. Justice Tree was an idea of mine that came about to honor my son, Stephon Clark, in a true aspect of him and his personality. So Stephon was a true pothead. Okay. So I learned what that term TPH meant when he was about 14, unfortunately. So his nickname is Zoblos. That was always his nickname. His Facebook page says that right now. So his Facebook page is still live, you know.
Oh, wow.
So Stephon Clark, my son, was a 22-year-old unarmed Black man killed by Sacramento Police Department in his grandmother's backyard while only holding a cell phone. The officers who murdered my son are still employed with the Sacramento Police Department. Justice was not served in Stephon's case. As a result of that, my family has mobilized to not only empower and educate underserved, underrepresented communities, but also to commemorate the life and legacy of Stephon in a positive light, also to inform and educate our communities on legislative and policy change. And so with that being said, we have the Stephon Clark Law. It's the California Act to Save Lives, Assembly Bill 392, that was passed in November of 2019, went into effect. Right now, underneath that Stephon Clark Law, 3 officers are being charged with manslaughter and second-degree murder in the lives of other civilians, other people of color.
This law,
pardon me?
due to the law being passed.
Due to the law being passed. Trevor Seaver, Stephen Taylor, and Richard Bills. So those are the victims. One in San Diego. Richard Bills was killed in San Diego. The officers being charged with second-degree murder. Stephen Taylor was killed in San Leandro. The officers being charged, I believe, with manslaughter or murder. I don't remember. And then Trevor Seaver, who was killed in Modesto, the officer in his case is being charged with manslaughter, I believe. So, but these are all underneath the Stephon Clark Law, which holds police accountable for using excessive force. We have also changed the foot pursuit policy in Sacramento, California. We have, well, we didn't change it, we established it, excuse me. We have Stephon Clark Day of Reflection in Sacramento, March 18th, the day he was killed, is the day the city stops to reflect on his life. You understand, the life that was stolen from us. We have the Stephon Clark Playground in the Meadowview, right behind my mother's house where he was killed, where there's a tunnel vision view built into the construction that leads from the playground directly to my mother's house. We have the murals in Sacramento. We, and now fall 2022, we'll have the Stephon Alonzo Clark College Preparatory Middle School.
Oh my goodness.
So we are not stopping. We also have Stephon's House, which was created by our foundation, the Stephon Alonzo Clark Foundation. We have Stephon's House, which is a 24-hour resource center, library, and museum, empowering, educating underserved, underrepresented communities, as well as commemorating Stephon's life in a positive light. And so that's what we do. Justice Tree ties into that because the funds, the proceeds from Justice Tree go directly to the foundation to fund the foundation and the work that we do. We are first responders for families impacted by police violence. We go around, I speak around the country, empowering other mothers who have lost their children. We've termed ourselves YEYOs, YEYO. And a yayo is a mother who has experienced the loss of a child. And so with that being said, we have identified who we are, and now we're addressing healing, learning, and growing with one another. I do a broadcast every Monday on our social media platforms, and myself and other yayos, we go over we process the cycles of grief together openly on a safe space. And it's just very powerful. And so that's what we do. That's what they call me Mama Clark now. I've embraced that title wholeheartedly, and I'm moving onward and upward with Justice Tree as well as with I Am SAC Foundation. So that's how we bridge the gap with the social justice and the social equity. The war on drugs just for the social equity aspect of it with the war on drugs, they thought they buried us, they thought that they buried us, but they planted seeds. They didn't bury us. They planted seeds. And so each seed will sprout up and grow into a tree. That's the vision of Justice Tree. Each leaf represents a family. Each leaf represents a victory. George Floyd, the conviction of Derek Chauvin was one of our leaves on our Justice Tree. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what it's about.
Powerful.
Yeah, that's the tree. And so if you look on our website, you'll see the fist popping up out of the, you understand me? Strong. And if you look at the Justice Tree logo, it's a fist, but it has the veins of the tree, and we're strong. We're stronger than what we know. And that's what I found out through my journey of life, is that I'm stronger than I ever thought. So that's that. I hope I answered the question.
I mean, the thing is that I knew, of course, I knew about your son. And I also knew that played a huge narrative in what Justice Tree does and do for the community. But I think hearing you personally talk and explain, even just like the symbolism in the logo, I'm like, because as soon as you start talking about they didn't bury us, they planted seeds and its branches. I mean, like, my mind is just going back to your logo, and I'm like, wow, Justice Tree.
I know, I feel like crying right now, right?
That is so powerful.
Yeah. I know. Oh, I don't know why I'm getting so emotional right now.
No, because I feel that. Like, that is so deep. Like
yeah, it is. It's us. So yeah, right.
And it makes sense too, because even just like, Mama Clark, I was like, that's so interesting. Like, I wonder how she got that name. And it's like, you've really taken your grief and you've been so with it, because you've created this community,
which you're supposed to, right? That's the natural way of things. You understand what I'm saying? That's why, my eyes have been opened in such a different way. So the other mothers, the other Yales that I interact with, they're just like, Mama Clark, if it wasn't for you, where would I be? And I just was like, because 2 years ago, I wasn't here. 2 years ago, I was broken. 2 years ago, I was checked out. Okay. To the point of I attempted suicide, and I took a bag of pills of narcotic codeine, Tylenol number 3s. Took a bag of them with a bottle of vodka, and it did not work. Okay. And I heard the voice of God say to me, not yet, baby. You still have work to do. Okay. And then my body started pushing all these pills up out of me. Right. So that's the day I woke up and knew I had purpose. Okay. That's the day I found out that I had purpose. And it took me some time to get to that purpose, but I got to it, and I'm here. I'm in it now. And so the other mothers, I have 2 other families that are on board right now that will be our new brands underneath Justice Tree. So, where they will commemorate the life and legacy of their lost children to police violence in a positive light, where they will receive money that they don't have to, because see, it's a thing that they try to get us families and us mothers to accept this blood money by settling with the police or the city
Yeah.
And that's a catch-22 because I'll never get my son back. So what are you saying? You paid for his life? Because you can't do that because his life is priceless. So we need to become financially free and stay, secure. And we don't have to settle for that. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to, because I let them know, the Sacramento, they came to me, you can't buy nothing but them bullets back. Now, you can figure out how much you want to give me for each bullet, but that's the only thing you can buy. That's the only thing you can give me some money for is them bullets to enter my baby's body. And it was 8 of them. So you fired 20, but 8 entered his body. So pay me for the bullets. And we call it even. You know what I'm saying? But I know how to get some money and I know how to fight for what is right. So I've been doing it my whole life. And so the two go hand in hand, it's a sort of independence and it gives me the strength to fight, knowing that I don't have to settle, knowing that I don't have to depend on the very people who killed my child to support me, because that's a whole nother thing. I don't even know how I got there, but that's a whole nother level of it. So I have the family of Gabriela Navarez. Her mother's coming on board with Gabulicious is going to be our next brand. And then we have the mother of Soraya Jade, who's coming on. We have the mother of Marshall Miles, who's joining the Justice Tree brand. So this is something that's just going to grow and grow and grow.
And it's like, it's so bittersweet though, because it's like, it's so sweet that people that experience death at the hands of police brutality have such a safe haven to come to, like Justice Tree. You get what I'm saying? Like the support system is amazing. Like just hearing you, I'll be honest with you, like I didn't
Young thing was just right.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
I'm hearing you speak and I'm just like the impact is so crazy to me, because I'm thinking in my head, like I'm just thinking about even just like logo, theme of it, what you post, and like it's hitting deep. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm like, wow, like the intentionality behind it, like the raw emotion behind it is so indescribable. Like it's like, wow.
It's definitely, when it's like that, when it affects us physically, I always know that that's from God. It's supernatural, it's divine. And this wasn't what I would have chosen for my life. I belong to a club that no one wants to be a part of. No one wakes up and says, I'm going to be a yayo.
Yeah.
I've been, and so with that being said, you have to go onto our Facebook or our YouTube channel, the I Am SAC Foundation. It's IAMSAC Foundation.
I Am SAC. Let me write this down.
And so you'll have to and listen to one of the Healing with Mama Clark sessions and see all the different mothers and watch us as we learn and grow and heal together, because that's another aspect of it. We're Justice Tree is also going to be coming out with the Yayo healing essentials, which will be CBD creams and edibles and things like that. You know what I mean? Because a Yayo needs to be regarded with care,
fragility,
with patience.
Yeah.
Exactly, because we have to still be here and because it's easy to check out.
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, Stefan's not the first son I buried. And I buried 2 sons, I buried a daughter, I buried 3 of my 8 children. Mm-hmm. So when my first son was killed to community violence, I checked out for 15 years.
Wow.
Okay. And when I say I checked out, I mean I checked out for 15 years. You understand what I'm saying? Because I could not deal with the pain of it. Okay. I couldn't deal with the memories. I couldn't deal with it. So I numbed it out. I was gone. I don't care what you say. I was gone. I don't care what you say. Right. And when Stefan died, I knew I missed the mark somewhere, right? because something has to be different. You don't bury two sons to gun violence. Something got to give. Something got to change. Something has to change. And two totally different aspects of gun violence. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew that once God talked to me and let me know that I had work to do, I knew that it was I needed to be busy about finding out what it is that I need to be doing. And I totally believe in my whole heart that it is being the voice for the voiceless.
Yeah.
That's my purpose, you know? And to show people how to really live love, really, you know, one of our pillars of our foundation is everybody love everybody, you know, and that's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so we were just on we just did a Silence the Violence rally on Wednesday. It was our second annual Silence the Violence rally. And it's, you know, Gun Awareness Month was last month. And so there was two police officers who came to be a part of that dialogue. And that was hard, but I had to do that because that's what bridging the gap means, right? It means having those hard dialogues. It means putting our feelings and our emotions to the side and dealing with the problem at hand, coming up with the solution for the problem at hand. And I had to speak on it, that I was uncomfortable. My anxiety was trying to go there.
Of course.
Some of the other mothers felt the same way, but we spoke on that. But then we continued to speak on why we were there, and to come up with actionable items, things that we can wake up the next day and do, in order to have a better rapport with these police, in order for them to hear us, because everyone wants just to be heard, first of all, you know. And so we came up with some good actionable items, and so that's what I do. That's what I do. I'm CEO. Well, no, today's the second, so I'm no longer CEO. I just gave it back to my son of the foundation, but I am vice president now of the foundation, just because I'm really putting my energy into Justice Tree, and so I need to have the ability to put more energy into the Justice Tree aspect of my life.
So he's CEO of the I Am SOC Foundation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just stepped down July 1st. July 1st, I stepped down.
Oh wow!
So I'm excited that I'll be able to give 100% to Justice Tree now. Yeah. You know, because it's a bud. It's you know, it's just now popping up off the ground.
That's where your heart is at too.
Mm-hmm.
It's where your heart is feeling. Yeah. And that's what I was. You know, about the bittersweet aspect of it, because it's like, it's so sweet that this community Justice Tree exists, but it's also so bitter that each time a plant and a leaf grows, the story behind it is really quite bitter, because that means that the cycle is still happening and that somebody is still losing their child to brutality. So it's so, you know, I think I would have to ask you, what do you think needs to be done for us to eradicate that cycle, eradicate it to where more leaves don't have to be grown in Justice Tree?
So first of all, that's a good question. I'm a firm believer in policy and legislative change. Mm-hmm. I know now that works.
Yeah.
You know, that works. And we got to put our feet to the ground. We got to stay active. We have to be a part of the election, the bills, the laws. We have to really become a part of it. As CEO of I Am SOC Foundation, one of the programs, one of the things I came up with was the Era of the Vote. And it was to educate, register, and assist the forgotten voters, okay, which is us.
Yeah.
You know, so I went on a campaign that whole, 3 months before it was time to vote, teaching my people what each item on the ballot was about, what the pros and the cons was it, was of it. I got a 24-hour ballot drop-off box placed in Meadowview, which is South Sacramento, where Stephon was killed. District 8 they've never had a ballot drop box in that district ever.
They want to discourage. Okay. They don't want to make
because they don't want us to vote, right? And so it's a 24-hour drop-off box right in front of the church and the school where we feel comfortable as, and you don't have to feel that those eyes on you when you go in the vote and all that. Okay, so I took care of that. I went and registered homeless voters and used my foundation address as their address, and then took them their ballots or took them to the poll where they could vote themselves. So I believe that once we become an educated and informed voter, we'll have the change that we desire. I also think that each one, reach one, and teach one. We have to unite. We're more powerful united than we are divided. And for that to happen, we have to turn our hoods back into neighborhoods and communities. We have to check on one another. We have to fill in the blanks for each other again. We don't fill in the blanks for each other today. Everyone's just about me. And I think that's where my status as a tribal member in the Ujima tribe comes into play because it's all about us. It's not about me.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's, I live that.
I back in community.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so I'm doing my part trying to heal the mothers, because once the mothers heal, the family will begin to heal. Right.
I do think that it starts with the matriarch. It starts with mother, because we as women, we tend to be the teacher, the
nurturer. Right. Come on now. And so with that being said, we know it from day one. Your kids imitate and mimic the parents, and so my kids see me actively attempting to heal. I have a psychiatrist, a therapist, and I have my group. Okay. So.
I love it.
Yeah. And so I think that once we get on board as a people, our culture, once we come back together, and we're coming back together, because you can see it. You can see how we are beginning to come together again. Our culture, our people, and I'm proud of who we are today. I'm proud of our voice today. I'm proud of what we're doing. And
social media has a lot to do with that, like the digital, being able to have access to so many of our community at one given time.
Not being alone.
Like Black Twitter and, just all solid.
There's no Black Twitter.
Yeah, so
Black Twitter.
Yeah, but it's not something outside of Twitter. So basically, Black Twitter is just like, it's this notion that Black people, like Black millennials on Twitter, really, really, really decides what is it and what is not in pop culture and mainstream.
Right, no, really.
They were. What does Black Twitter said? Oh man, Black Twitter is up in rambles, and it's like this whole thing.
You put me up on it. I'm on it now. You didn't put me up on something.
Yes, Black Twitter. It's like and too, like even that aspect of like Black Twitter. That's why so many stories, like even the story of your son, like an outlet like Black Twitter is what gives it its voice and what
I know that
information of like, this is what's going on, you guys. Hey, this is what's going on. And so it's like, it's so amazing how we have access to each other to do that and be plugged in and have that solidarity,
Right. I totally agree. Yeah, I know I seen when Rock Nation and the NFL did a PSA about my son. And
wow.
And Meek Mill and Jay-Z and Beyonce tweeted it. Okay. And the NFL tweeted it. And it was crazy. Yeah, you can Google it. You can Google PSA, Stephon Clark PSA. Yeah, that's awesome.
The national outcry for that, though, like that is beautiful. I'm so glad that it got that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think that one thing that we've dealt with societally is just this, especially with our Black men, our black boys. Society, America does not value the loss of a Black man the same. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that, like, that warms my heart. The fact that NFL and not to say that it's any more important for Beyonce,
but they have the effect, they have the ability,
the influence, the fact that it was retreated so much to the point that people that live as hectic lives as Beyonce and the people caught wind of it and felt a social responsibility to retreat it. Talk about it. Yeah. That's major.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So many Kaepernick. We had Gabrielle Union, Megan Good, just so many, all of the NBA players. Oh my gosh. We didn't have to. So, I've had insurance on all my kids. So that's never, I'm not, just as I buried 3 kids. So that wasn't an issue for us, but that people wouldn't let me pay for anything. You understand? People wouldn't let me, they would not allow me.
But I love that the community showed up for you.
Oh my God. Have you seen any of the video of them? We shut down the freeway. We shut down the Golden One Arena. No game today. Because you killed my baby. I've
seen some videos, but I'll be honest with you. Like, sometimes when something like that happens and people are sharing all of those things,
it becomes overwhelming.
It's so overwhelming, but not in a bad way, but just in a sense of like, man, but like, this woman lost her son. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's and it's anger. Anger fills me because it's like, I feel like, okay, well, what's going to be done about it? Like, are the cops going to be fired? Are they going to be put in jail? And so it pisses me off, literally it pisses me off. But I'm happy that social media can be used positively too, in the sense of at least you got emotional support, you got the financial support that you need. I'm sure that with people helping in that capacity, you were able to take some time off to actually be able to mourn and to grieve, even if that meant, laying in bed all day. Like, there's a season for that, especially if you lose your kid. You get what I'm saying? Like, some people without having type of national support, some people lose their kid and they have to go back to work in 2 weeks and still like push through or do those things.
Girl, my sister's going through that right now. She's about to have to go to court with the state because her son was just killed, my nephew.
Wow.
In a car accident. And they are saying, well, your leave of absence is up.
And it's like,
what are you talking about? And that is the significance of the importance of identifying a mother who has lost her child, because we have a term for a widow, we have a term for an orphan.
Yeah,
because those are life.
It symbolizes loss. A loss. That person is dealing with loss.
But it's a loss that greatly affects the life of the person who
it changes the title.
It changes everything. It changes your whole everything. And so that was the importance of
yayo.
The yayo term, identifying it. Because if a workforce already knows, okay, a yayo is a mother who has experienced loss of a child. She is delicate. She is fragile. She is emotionally unstable because she deals with or sits on the border of deep, dark depression at any given moment. Any given moment.
She could be triggered.
A thought, a smell, a memory can knock me down any moment. And all that I do, which is why I really had to step back a little bit from the foundation work, because the first response with all of the families that are still, it knocks me down.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It floors me.
I mean, I can't.
My son's more able to detach from the emotional aspect of it. You know what I mean? And so I'm just really I'm glad that we have that term, and now it's just about making sure that counselors are culturally competent in knowing that, so that because the counselor,
So how did it come about? Like, how did the origin of yayo come about?
I heard a song years ago. So here's the story. So when I would clean up, because I had 4 boys, 4 girls, okay? And so my boys, took a lot. I was a single mom. So on Saturdays or just on days where they knew that mama wasn't playing, mama was serious, right? I put on that song Yayo by Erykah Badu.
Oh,
right? Look, I'm the mama, okay? You remember that song Yayo?
Yeah.
Come on, girl. Come on now. So in my darkest hour, I would play that song. And it would comfort my heart and my spirit. And I was like, I'm a yayo, right? But yayo's not a real word, because she says in the beginning of the song, yeye means mother in Swahili. Yayo was her artistic approach to that.
Oh.
So because it had no meaning, I'm able to attach to it and say, I'm a yayo. I'm a yeye first, but I'm a yayo now, And so so the way that a word becomes a word is because by social media. So because I had to figure out, how do we make this the word, right? So it's by social media now. And it's as many people as you get to start using the word in context, then it becomes a word. And so that's the mission that we're on right now. Hence Healing with Mama Clark, the Yayos, hence Yayo's Life, hence Yayo's Healing Essentials. And then all of my mothers in my circle, when they announce themselves, we introduce ourselves. I almost say, hi, I'm Mama Clark, I'm a yayo. I buried 3 children, And so once you take away the exasperating energy that you use trying to identify who you are and explain that to someone else, once that's out the way, then I have my energy left to do what I need to do what I want to do, live how I want to, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have to, because when my first son died and I was checked out, my family would be like, well, what's wrong? And I'm just like,
what do you think?
What? Like, my 16-year-old son's dead. What do you mean?
Oh, he was 16. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, he's not here no more, And so, I wasted so much energy. I was so depleted all the time from answering what's wrong. Or, hey, how you doing? The fuck you mean how I'm doing? I'm broken.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody's not here that was here, that came from my body. They killed him. He just not here. He was killed. You know what I'm saying? He was killed. And so, for people to ask me what's wrong or what's going on or how you feel, or, I would become so instantaneously angry, full of rage, that I just.
And it also, it's not fair, because you have to constantly
explain that or defend that or
explanation for somebody else.
Right. So that's why identification is so important.
It is. And I see that. You're right.
Because it cuts all that part out. I'm a yayo.
I understand, oh, the person has lost their partner. So the identification of a yayo, if someone says I'm a yayo, I know, I understand, this person has lost their child. Wow. And and you want
to hug her. You know what I'm saying?
Capacity.
Right.
Makes a lot
and
of
give
sense.
her a break. Right. Yeah. So once that's gone out the way, then I can deal with getting the task at hand handled. Then I can deal with
purpose. what actually needs to be done.
That I can get to the solution. Yeah, and that's all anybody wants. You know.
Mama Carl, you are so powerful. Like, I'm the intent, like just the perspective, the level of awareness and understanding, and not just that though, but your ability to take it and evolve it into solutions for the next individual is mind blowing.
And that's where the purpose comes in at, because purpose is not about me. It's about others, right? And so, you know, I wouldn't have chosen this job, you know what I mean? But the fact that it's mine, I'm gonna run with it and I'm gonna get the job handled, you know, and I thank God that
like that's a characteristic that you have. You get what I'm saying? Because another individual who, I mean, had 3 children, you buried 3 children like that, more tragic than people experience in 3 lifetimes. So,
right.
That you take something that is that hurts other people and not yourself. Like, that shows the individual that you are. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's very, it's humbling, it's inspiring, because it's like an individual who has been through so much.
You should have went fast and got
that. Like,
hold on, I can't hear you. Hold on. How?
Like 2 bad for the last 2 years. I'm always been. I forgot.
The interview. Sorry about that. Because when we're on the phone, like when other people talk, then it mutes you out. So that's what I need. Okay.
No, but I would say it shows a lot about who you are internally, though, because I'll be honest with you, it's like how selfless you are, considering what you've experienced in this lifetime. It's an outlier. Like, it's not a common response. You get what I'm saying? Not a normal response. So it's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, it is for me sometimes too. I get what you're saying, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
I do have a question for you. Are there any books on the way?
Yes, actually. So I have 4 chapters done already. I don't know what I'm going to name it. I think the title's changing. So I might want to name it Sunrise. Because this is just because, and sun, S-O-N, rise. You know,
you're such an intentional individual. That's what I love about you.
You know what I used to say? You know what I tell people? I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, I raised my kids on purpose. All the life lessons that I instilled into my children were on purpose. They were well thought out, you know, because I was a young mom and a single mom. Yeah, and I had to.
Something that someone's like, oh, okay. And then you get the explanation, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So I just finished chapter 4. So I finished chapter 4 probably 8 months ago. And then and chapter 4 was all about Stefan and who he was and who he is and who he was supposed to be and who he has became, because you know, he was always a big light. He was always the one. Stefan was always the one. Before any of this, he was always my one. That was my guy. That was he. You know, all my sons have this light around them. All of them, every last one of them. And not to say my daughters don't, but my sons, I seen it from birth around all of them. Okay, and so my firstborn son's nickname was Man Man. My second son's nickname is Dada.
Oh,
Stefan's nickname is Papa, Big Papa. Okay. And then my fourth, my baby boy, he's Bookie. He's just Bookie. He's the baby boy. But
it's like you. By the time you get to the youngest, you just like, baby, you Pookie.
no, I didn't even name him. My son DeMarcus, my firstborn son, nicknamed him Bookie. He was his Bookie. And so with that being said, Stefan, every time he came around, he was that guy. You know what I mean? And so
Swag and the person.
yes, it's all of it. And then he was a genius. And so St. John's pursued him for a full academic scholarship. Pursued his ass, and then until he messed up, got in trouble at school. But I had the hand signature written letters from St. John's for my son. So a lot of people don't know that about Stefan. He was a genius. He thought 5 steps ahead of people. He was a Gate kid. He was a Mesa kid. And he was an all-star athlete. So he, everywhere he went, he had that light about him, right? And so in his death, right? This boy got a school about to be named after him. A school. They just made the public announcement about it. We're naming our school after Stefan A. Clark because he should have been here.
Wow.
In his death, God has used his death to save other lives. You understand what I'm saying? And it seems unfair sometimes, but I know that it truly is bigger than just me and my family and my son, and I count it an honor now to be used for the greater good. I mean, I think that's what fuels me. I try not to really focus on, sometimes I'll just look at a picture or say Papa's name and be like, damn, he's really not here. Like, man, but then I have to shake it off okay. But look at all that God has done in the 3 years that he's not been here in his name.
Yeah. His impact has been immortalized.
You understand what I'm saying? So, I count all my pain joy now. I really try to operate from a place of joy, which I'm right now in my life, I'm experiencing a joy that I've never experienced. And I just was praying for peace, and God threw joy in there with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I laugh now. And when I haven't laughed in the past 18 years, though, you figure after DeMarcus died, I stopped laughing. After my first son died, I was no emotions about anything. Okay. So today, to be able to genuinely smile, genuinely laugh, genuinely be tickled about something, you know what I'm saying? To just I choose not to be angry or violent. I choose not to be that way on purpose. Every day when I can be that way. I just choose not to be, and so with those little things, I want to say I have received justice for Stefan, but I need to make sure that everybody else gets justice for their babies, or that they know that they deserve justice too. Those are the new seeds and those are the new trees that are popping up with Justice Tree, is that we have the right to be justified. You know what I'm saying? Our babies' lives. We have that right. And we're going to pursue it. We're going to go after it with all hands on deck,
We sure are. And that is that's what it takes, like you were talking about earlier, for unity and community. And it's not about the I, right? Because done amazing things in Stefan's name, like them, the foundation, the school. It's like his name will never be forgotten. It's never forgotten, but it's impact, because everything that is a name is there to impact and to inspire and to invest into the young people of that community. Whereas, so if you're thinking about it from an I perspective, it's like you have done so much in Stefan's name, and And of course, like you can never make peace with the fact of how he was taken away, but you've made some sort of peace with what you've been able to do with it. Whereas the work that you're doing is for other people. It's so that other people can experience that too. And I think that that's beautiful. Like you really are the example of what you want to see and what is necessary. Like, you know, if someone was to say, like, what would it take for our community to continue to grow, to heal, to expand, it would say, like, you are the prototype. You get what I'm saying? So,
thank you. Yeah, I received that. Thank you.
Please, so inspiring. I'm sitting here like, wow, it's just what you do for people, considering what has been taken from you, is humbling. It's inspiring. It's like, what can I do? You know, that's
right. And that's the goal, right? and that's the goal. That's the goal.
Like, what are you doing? You know, you have this woman that's doing so much despite everything that she's had to heal from and to overcome. And so it's like, it puts pressure on you. It's like, hey, well, damn, well, what am I going to do? You know, like, what am I doing? And it's like, that's amazing. Like, I hope I could talk to you in a couple months and be like, oh, Mama Claudia,
this is what I started, right? Come on, girl.
I'm doing my part. So
right.
Thank you for inspiring that. Like, it's crazy because I didn't expect for all of these emotions to come up in this interview, but you're a very powerful woman, a very impactful individual. And it's not even because you try to be, it's just by your lifestyle, your level of intentionality. It's like, she's so intentional, like in everything that you do. It's phenomenal.
I appreciate you for noticing that and for speaking it. I received that. And I hear it, but I don't hear it often enough to remind me to keep that I'm okay and keep being me, you know, we all need to hear that sometimes, that, you know what I'm saying? I hear you, I see you. And this is what I hear and this is what I see. So I appreciate you for speaking.
I recognize it. And
thank you. And that's what I'm talking about. You remember the way they used to do it at the church, like, hey, I see you, I feel you, I got you, you know? And then I think somebody told me too, the Avatar movie, that they would do this thing to say, I see you know, and it just meant all of it. Like, I feel it, I see it, I understand it, I'm rooting for it.
Unnoticed. It's like your works it's not unnoticed. It's impactful beyond even what you thought it would be.
Right.
So the last thing, well, I want to say, please let us know, like, what's the timeline for the book? Because as you were talking, I was just like, this woman, I need to read her book. Like, that's about the book. Because I'm like, that just sounds, you know, like, yeah, even just like,
yeah. I think I got like 5 books in me. I really know that. I know for a fact I have at least 5 books inside of me. You know,
I mean, even that concept of yayo, like, that's a book in itself. Like, it's a book in itself. It's like the identification of it, the how necessary it is. It's like, I would read them all because it's like, as you were talking, like, that's literally what came to me. I'm just like, do you have, like, where can I go purchase these books at? Because you have a very well thought out perspective.
Yeah, I do. You know, actually, I must say that. I know I do. And I was just talking with the other mothers a few months back, and I just was like, we need to write a handbook on how to deal with the yayo. How do I interact with the yayo? And so you saying that is a confirmation. So I got to get back on that. So I wrote the outline of the book. I wrote the outline of that, how to interact with the yayo. Because it's important.
Yeah.
And it will help society flow. It will also enable the yayo to heal. And once the mama's healed, then we all know we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
We're going to be all right.
Whoa. And I just think that, like, for instance, because I know that you do speeches all the time. You get what I'm saying? And like, and I'm sure that in these speeches and in these panels that you give, like, I'm sure you introduce people to the yayo, but it's like, how do you take that into like actionable steps to being a part of their lifestyle? So I think like being able to have a handbook like that for people to support, that's going to be great, because when you're going to these panels and you're letting people know, like, hey, this is a yayo, then it's like a product that they can take home that helps them and that helps them. And like, that's important. Like, you need, I would be like, please have that vended at every speaking and engagement, because people will want that. They will need that. Like, even when you brought it up now, and I was just thinking like, wow, that's so important, you know, but it's like, what does that, you know, like just being taught and educated on the yayo, like that's necessary.
It is.
Please make that for us.
Okay. You might have to send me a reminder text once a month. How you doing?
Oh, you got that.
You feel me?
I am honestly going to do that, because
thank you.
That is literally what kept coming to my mind. It's like, dang, that needs to be out. Like, that is something that people need from both hands. So, because the yayo will understand, yes, I'm a yayo, but then also too, the individual,
everyone around me needs to understand it.
How to deal with the yayo. Because I remember when I was like 21 years old, my
girl, you still look 21. You don't look a day over 25 while you talking about 21. So you got good things if you over that, baby. Hey, my birthday Sunday on the 4th, and I'll be 49.
Oh, you are let me see,
Cancer.
You're a Cancer. Oh, Aries are very emotional. They're very
nurturing, mothering. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense why you're a little bit more philanthropic. I love that. But also too, your birthday fall on the 4th. I know that growing up.
Oh no, but you know what? I hate fireworks.
Oh, really?
Unless it's like a big show, like a fireworks show. Yeah. But all the neighborhood
well, it can be a little bit annoying, I think, on the ear, especially.
I'm scary. I don't like all that. I don't like the sparklers. I'll be like, oh.
I'm scared. I just don't like it from excitement, and I'm like, oh, don't pop that by my car.
Right.
Y'all crazy.
Right.
But I'm excited. So my last question for you would be, what is next? Like your in these next 5 years, what does that look like for you?
For me, with Justice Tree in the next 5 years, I expect Justice Tree to be an international brand because it's impacted. Families all over the world are impacted by police violence and brutality. And I expect Justice Tree to be the way for the families, a way, not the only way, but a way for families to be able to be financially free, as well as commemorating their lost loved one's child, or their loved one in a positive light, in a culture and in a community, because the cannabis culture, the cannabis community, it is inviting. And that's one community where everyone looks out for everyone. It's not a me, or I, or mine.
Yeah.
It's a hippie culture, it's love and peace and unity. And so we need that.
Yeah,
families impacted by police violence and terrorism and brutality, we need love and peace and unity in our lives. Okay. And so I expect Justice Tree to be one of the avenues where that is made possible. I really see Justice Tree as being something really, really big, a really, really huge tree, a global tree, and that's my vision for Justice Tree. For myself, I see myself writing books. I see myself on Oprah. I see it. You know,
yes,
I see
that for you.
yeah, I see her asking me about how I come up with the yayo. I see that whole interview. I see the yayos becoming an international platform, an international term, an international community, an international movement. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's yayos in every community and of every city, state, nation, of every country. Unfortunately, there are yayos, and we need to unite and become one powerful, soothing, healing movement, you know? And so that's within the next 5 years, I see those three things just like boom, 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 like going onward and upward. That's what my tribe member, Eugene tribe, Shuri, she says, onward and upward. Onward and upward, you know, and so I really see that happening. I see us coming together and me being part of it. Yeah,
I love that, and I agree. I think that it's beyond Sacramento, beyond California, beyond the United States.
Yes.
It is international pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that if anyone has the capacity to do it, it's you, because you have a very selfless and intentional perspective. You know, like you have a gift of words and a gift of perspective. So you will be able to communicate in a way that's never been done before. You get what I'm saying?
I receive that. Yes. Thank you. I received that.
So I love it. I'm so happy that you took this interview because, like I said, I knew that you were a phenomenal woman, just like based on some of the things that I heard. But this interview has like superseded what I was going to receive from it. I mean, I'm like, okay, cool. It's going to be 30 minutes. This interview,
right?
You get what I'm saying? Because it's like it was so necessary. I'm like, oh, like this woman is so powerful, like crazy.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for you. I'm going to be on you about resources and
I hope so.
I promise you. Listen. One thing about Patriotic Jones, if I say it, I'm telling the truth, because about it, it was just like, wow, that's so important. Like that's necessary. And the first thing I thought about was books. If you had the book, I would buy it. Like I think it's so important. Like, you know, you just have to have those.
Yeah. So I was talking with a few people and they said that it's normal to experience a writer's block after that chapter that I just did.
Powerful. Yep.
Because that chapter, I cried as I wrote that chapter. And, you know, there's tears. It's in a encased, my cousin who died right after myself. It's my cousin. I had my son's funeral. My cousin came and brought his kids because his kids were fighting for Stefan. Didn't know that they were related. Okay, true story. So his name was James. So he brought his kids to meet me, and they were just, you know. So I embraced him. And the next month he died. But before he died, he gave me this journal, right? But it's in a wooden case book. Like the covers are wood, and it's just beautiful. And so so that's what I started writing my book in, you know. And so I have it. I just have to pick it back up, and I'm almost there. I know that I'm almost there. I just got a new place where it's serene and peaceful and tranquil, and so I just know that I'll be in a place to have some me time to write. Yeah, because that's important, you know.
Environment health is important.
Man, oh wait, girl. So that being said, I know that I'm almost there. I'm almost, you know, my mindset. I feel it. I feel my handwriting. I feel that, and because I handwrite, I don't, you know, it's all handwritten.
That is so personal.
Yeah. I might even have it printed that way. You know.
Oh, you're gonna print it that way?
Just because.
That's dope.
Yeah, I think so. Just because it's the truth. Because it's the truth.
I love that.
You remember the Color Purple book? Remember the Color Purple book?
Yes.
Boom.
I love that. Look at
Because the truth. And you can see in my handwriting, you can see, I'm visualizing the book, right? You can see when it's hard or when it's angry or when it's sad. You know, you can see that in the way the pen hits the paper and the way that
it's a little bit more swift, you know. So like,
it's harder. There's some that's like, you know, it's deep. It's deep. Writing a book is deep, and but people need to know the truth of it, and so I'm here to tell it.
That's normal. You know, I wouldn't even consider it really writer's block because you're pulling from very deep emotions. And, you know, again, this is not commercial writing. You know, this is not, oh, let me write 20 pages a week. And no, this is like
my life.
Yeah, you're having to like
my life.
Yes, and you have to go back to these spaces and like that,
man.
You know, you have self-care as you're writing this because you don't
want to. Because writing that, I'm telling you, because the way I deal with Stefan, with Papa, I call him Papa. We call him Papa. So when I hear Stefan, it sounds so weird to me because he hated that name. He went by Zoe because he's named for his daddy. You know what I'm saying? And so it just so my family, we all laugh about. We know when we're saying Stefan, it's for the Stefan Clark. You know, but like I was saying, when I call him Papa, but. Papa, I don't even know what I was saying. I lost it. But anyways, Papa, that's my baby. And so when I was writing about
that chapter,
just remembering some of the stuff that I was sharing with people, the stories that people don't know, stories about our personal, intimate conversations. And Stefan, he grew up fat and dark. Out of all my kids, he was the fat kid and he was the dark kid like me. All my other kids is light brown, like, you know what I'm saying? They all whatever. So, so they used to tease him so hard that he would cry. He was so emotional. He was a crybaby like me, right? He'd come to me crying, Mama. And then I'd be like, and so I would whisper in his ear every day that he would come to me. I'd say, Papa, you're going to be my finest one. You're going to be the prettiest one like God. I said, watch. I said, you look just like your mama did at my age. So don't trip, baby. I said, you going to. And then one day that boy came in the house. He was 16 years old. He came running in the house and I get scared easily because of what happened with DeMarcus. So when they come in, I immediately be like, what? Like, you know, immediately just the PTSD is real. Okay. So what's wrong with you? You know, I was scared, right? And he said, Mama, he lifted up his shirt. He said, I'm fine, Mama. He said, I'm fine, Mama. He said, I ain't got no 6-pack. I got an 8-pack and everybody want it. And then I was like, I said, I told you, baby. He said, Mama, you did. You wasn't lying, Mama, you did.
Yo,
so that's his personality. He was like, look, Mama, ooh. He was like, all these girls want me. He was juiced, but I don't know what happened that day at school for him. But that boy came in there like,
Mama,
he was serious though. You should see the little. So so just knowing those, like I share those intimate memories, you know what I'm saying? And there's so many. And so that put me that I had to deal with, I don't have him here anymore when I wrote that, you know, when I shared that chapter, just the fact that he's really gone.
Yeah.
You know, like his dream, his biggest thing was for me to be clean and sober and living up to the potential that I had in me. And so it came as a result of his death, you know, because I wasn't going to let it be in vain. That's the story. His death will never be in vain. It fuels me. And everything that I do, I don't give a damn, you know? And so, that's Mama Clark. Because he's juiced for me.
A phenomenal.
Yeah, and so Stefan Devontae, my other son, he gave me the name Mama Clark. He was like, yeah, this is Mama Clark, right? And I'm like, boy, my name is Sequette. Don't be calling. He's like, nah, you Mama Clark, Mama. He said, you know that you won him over. When you enter the room as Sequette Clark and you leave and they calling you Mama Clark, you know you did your job.
It's true though. And it's so befitting. Like you do just have like this natural maternal energy.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I was the mom of the neighborhood always, you know. And then I had the most kids, so all the kids.
At your house.
Yeah, all the time. You know, all the time. You know, I don't know. It's so hard for me today because I don't know how to cook for me. And I have a 10-year-old. So for me and the baby, for me and Kaylin, it's like, how do I make
just food for us?
Like, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I go
making that buffet, huh?
Right? How do I shop without filling up the refrigerator? And then, because when I shop like how I'm used to shopping, the stuff goes bad. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
it's only two, and then my baby, she's so finicky. Right, so we do mostly eating out now. I'm just like, dang, like I'll get in there and cook sometime, but then I gotta give out. I gotta call my kids over, come get a plate. You know, just come get a plate. But they come, they do come.
Oh man, let me go to mama's house. I bet they do. I would.
For real, they really do. They really do.
Okay, but if you live close, I was like, you said you want me to stop by?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. All right, so
I love it.
I know. Thank you so much. This was one of my best interviews. I appreciate you.
I love it. I think it's so important. I'm just so excited. I'm gonna. You said it's I am SAC Foundation.
You could. Are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I'm on my phone.
Okay, so just type in. So go to YouTube.
Okay.
Or because I don't know if you follow me on Facebook. YouTube's the easiest way.
On it.
And you can see all the stuff we do. And so it's I am SAC, I, and then am, and then SAC in all caps. And it should pop up.
Yep. I am SAC Foundation. Right. Yayo's life. I love it. Well, for anyone that's listening too, so that is I am SAC. That's S as in Sally, A as in Apple, C as in Charlie Foundation.
Hold on. Let me stop you right there. It's I am SAC. S as in Stefan, A as in Alonzo, C as in Clark.
So why didn't even get on to that? I am SAC like Sacramento, but
right. That's what it is. SAC. And and if you look at our logo, it's the city turned upside down.
I love it. Oh man.
It's all intentional, like you said.
Of course. I anything less from you. Oh right. I love it. And on Instagram, it's justice.tree.
Justice.tree. We also have official _I am SAC Foundation. Okay. You can follow me personally at Mama Clark 916. And you can also hit up our partner, Ujima Tribe. It's UJIMATRIBE, Ujima Tribe. I'm a proud tribe member of Ujima. You feel me? And so those are all of our outlets. Yeah,
and
all of them. So
Facebook, what are you under?
On Facebook, Sequette Clark.
Okay.
My first name, Sequette Clark. And I think it's SE capital Q. I'm not sure, but because I have like 3 pages, but you'll see the one with the most recent.
Got you.
And then we also saw on Yayo's on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, we have the Yayo
Facebook group.
Yes, thank you. It's YEYO a mother who's buried a child. Yayo, a mother who's buried a child.
Thank you so much, Mama Clark, for your time.
All right, thank you for having me.
you for your everything. You have
Thank
given
you. You're welcome, baby.
this
Ain't
interview.
the
What did they say?
sign
Black
away.
Twitter would
I
say
just be smoking
this
an OG.
interview
I
gave
just be
what it was
smoking an
supposed to
OG.
give.
I just be smoking an
Okay.
OG.
All right.
These
See
niggas don't
that.
really know
All
me.
right
I
now.
just be smoking an OG. I'm at the growing house, I got like 20 P's. These niggas don't really know me. Yeah. Design away. I just be smoking an OG.